If the time has come to move out of California like so many have, then you're probably wondering where's the best place to live. Well, I happen to have grown up in California and I've lived in most of the western states. I've lived in Colorado, Arizona, Utah, and finally made my home here in Las Vegas. And of all the different places I've lived, this is by far the best I found, and I'm going to go over why in this video that you might want to consider Las Vegas your next home. Hey, I'm Hopkins, and welcome to Living in Las Vegas. On this channel, we cover everything you need to know about living here in Las Vegas, what makes it special, best neighborhoods, schools, entertainment, you got it, it's on this channel. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and give us a little thumbs up if you find this video helpful so that you can tell YouTube that this is worth checking out. Well, the great exodus of California continues with the 9th year in a row, ever increasing the numbers of Californians leaving the great state of California. I grew up there, I lived half my life there, and I've loved California, and well, it's just not quite the place it used to be, and so you might be looking elsewhere. I have lived in a lot of the western states. When my wife and I got married, we looked to some other states to live in just because of the high costs way back 25 years ago. Well, we lived in Loveland, Colorado, Fort Collins, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Nevada. And of all these states, honestly, I could say that I have enjoyed living in Las Vegas the most, which is the most surprising because I didn't expect us to live here very long. And I'm going to go over some of the reasons why we loved Las Vegas and some things you should know before moving here. First of all, you probably already know that Las Vegas is considerably cheaper than places like LA or San Francisco and other many large cities in California. Taxes are extremely low here and very tax friendly. There are only 9 states that have no income tax, and Nevada is one of them. No income tax isn't the only no tax that we have. We don't have tax on inheritance. We don't have taxes on pensions. We don't have taxes on Social Security. We don't have a gross receipt tax. We don't have franchise tax. We don't have inventory tax. We don't have tax on insurance of corporate shares. We don't have taxes on the sale or transfer of shares. Not only that, but we can't overlook the low cost of property tax. I would wager my yearly property tax here is lower than your monthly taxes where you're at. My annual property tax for the home I live in, which is a half acre in the middle of town with about 2,400 square feet, it runs about $1,600 a year. That's pretty low. I don't care where you're from. That's freaking awesome. We also have a fairly low sales tax of 8.1, which is pretty good compared to California, which can be as high as 10%. Now there are some surrounding states that are a little lower, and they also have income taxes. Of the western states, probably the lowest tax base. Also, sales tax are not on food nor medicals. However, no state can function without money, and our state's no different. And the irony is that if you visit here in Las Vegas at any time, you've been paying for a lot of our living costs as a state. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. I will say that our fee structure for government services and especially registration are on the high side of other states. I'm not sure how we compare. I didn't do a comparison of what registration is in California, but I believe they also have a progressive registration fee, and we have that here in Las Vegas and Nevada in general. If you're driving a newer, more expensive car, you're going to pay more for your registration than your 1972 beat-up clunker is going to be practically free. So some of the fees for government services are going to be a little higher. Starting corporations and maybe business licenses, some of those type of things might be a little higher than you'll find in some of the surrounding states. Another area that you'll find might surprise you is auto insurance. In fact, as Nevadans, this is probably one of our favorite things to complain about, is how high our driving insurance, and we always like to blame it on Californians, though I don't believe that's true. I think it's probably more actually a result of having so many different drivers from all over the country, because we're really a melting pot. We have a very diverse group of people who live here, and so maybe different kinds of driving style leads to more accidents. I don't know. The other problem here is when you're driving and it gets a little wet, it rains here, because we don't rain very often. We have 310 days of sunshine. When it does rain, it gets a little slick, so you got to be a little more careful when it rains here. Give a little more space, because the oil that has not been washed off the roads get that real slick, and so it makes it a little longer stopping time. Anyway, so those are some of the differences or things that might be a little more expensive or as expensive and you're expecting a discount. Don't be looking for it in your auto insurance. Traffic is not something I miss from Southern California at all. It is definitely one of the perks you're going to really enjoy when you move to Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegans would like you probably not to move here because they don't want more traffic. And we, at one point, I don't know, maybe a year or two, I looked, we were ranked number 307. I've seen some other rankings that have us much higher on that. But I will say that pretty much anywhere in town you can get to the other side of town, or pretty much anywhere you want, within about 30 minutes. And that holds up pretty well still today. If you factor in heavier traffic times, rush hours and stuff like that, then you're looking at maybe 45 minutes from one end to the other. I saw the average commute time for Las Vegas at 43 minutes from door to work. It's far better than anywhere else that I lived in California. Heck, I could drive my skateboard down the 405 faster than you could drive down the 405. One of the things I loved about living in Southern California was there was always something to do. You had the beach, you had Disneyland, you had Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, you had great clubs, you had wonderful dining, you had just so many great things to do, and I loved that growing up. But if it's coming time to move, let me tell you something, I don't think there's any place you can move that has as many awesome things to do as Las Vegas does. We have, of course, all the casinos, everything the Strip brings, world-class entertainment, world-class restaurants. In fact, if there's a celebrity chef, they probably have a restaurant here. So the fine dining, and if you're looking off the Strip, there's fantastic places to eat there. I just can't even express to you how many wonderful things there are to do. Generally, you have more extended hours. You can go to Buffalo Wild Wings at 2 o'clock in the morning and go do your laundry and shopping. And the reason why is this is a 24-hour town. There's people who are working all night long, and so there's things to do every hour of the day. As they say, this is the city that doesn't sleep. Las Vegas definitely has that something to do vibe better than anywhere else. One of the things that will surprise you about living in Las Vegas is actually the great outdoors. I know it's a misconception that many people have. I did when I moved here, that we just kind of stay indoors all the time because it's so friggin' hot. Las Vegas is located around some of the most beautiful places on the planet. We have Red Rock just literally minutes from your door, especially if you live in Sumerlin. It's just beautiful. You also have Zion Canyon's only about 2.5 hours away. You have Grand Canyon, the West Rim, is only about 2 hours away. You have Valley of Fire, you have Death Valley, both really beautiful places to go and visit. You have so many beautiful hikes nearby. There's this Hot Springs hike, which is outside Lake Mead. You have so many hikes in Lake Mead area, and boating and fishing and everything that comes along with that. You also have Mount Charleston, which is just beautiful. In the summertime, it's a great place to go and get out of the heat. So what you're going to find is that you're going to do hiking, maybe not during the summer, except for Mount Charleston. You're going to do that more in winter and springtime. Right now, it's January, and my family and I, we go out every single week, and we try to do a hike or an outdoor activity, and we absolutely love it. So you will be surprised. I know I was. We love the outdoors, and here's another wonderful thing about living in Las Vegas is there are no mosquitoes. Okay, almost no mosquitoes. And when I mean like almost no mosquitoes, I might see one every other year. In fact, I have a daughter that's allergic to mosquitoes. Never been a problem here, like ever. The fact that there are no mosquitoes means you get to enjoy the outdoors even more. When you're outside, it's lovely, it's fantastic. You know, there's about 3 months where it's blistering hot, and well, you know that moving in, and it's gonna be an adjustment. Your first year of summer is gonna be a hot one. It's gonna be tough, but the good thing is you're gonna only go from your air-conditioned home to your car, which if you're smart, you start it up and get it cooled down before you go out there. Then you're going to go from your car to your place of work or wherever it is you're going. It's not like you're going to be out there playing volleyball or what have you out in the sun. And what a great segue into weather. Throughout the United States, many people move here because of the weather. Look, if you're from California, you're not moving here from the weather, even though the rest of the country does. They're moving from cold climates into Las Vegas. I know I moved from Colorado and Utah here. I was sick and tired of scraping the frickin' windshields, shoveling snow. I'm telling you, that was fun for maybe one winter, maybe. I love being able to apply my brakes and actually being able to stop and not having my car figure skating and doing, little tricks out on the roads. Not very much fun. If you're moving from paradise weather, where you guys have a monopoly on great weather, then you're going to have to move somewhere, and that somewhere is either going to have a very cold winter or it's going to have a little warmer summers. So there's pros and cons in each. Las Vegas is a great place. We might get snow maybe every 5 years. I will say our winters can get colder or will get colder than Southern California or other parts of California. You get up north and I don't think heck, I was in San Francisco in July and it was freaking freezing me. It was like the wind was blowing. It was so cold. So, I think that it depends on where you're at. Generally, our winters are pretty mild. Well, like I said, we may get a dusting or a little bit of snow once a year, and maybe every 5 years we might get enough that people start freaking out and don't know how to drive. That's pretty much our winters in a nutshell. When we moved here from Utah, we were in shorts and t-shirts that entire winter. We were like, this is paradise. The next winter, we're like, whoa, when did it get cold? How did this happen? So you get acclimated pretty quickly here to where it starts feeling chilly. In fact, you'll know you're Nevadan when you're in 120 degrees and you're going to the movie theater and you bring a coat, because you're going to go into a freezing cold building and you're going to be, so you'll know. And let me give you another tip for how to become a local. Do not pronounce Nevada. At some point, this will be like nails on a chalkboard for you too. Stand out that you're not a local if you're pronouncing Nevada wrong. Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. Affordable housing is another draw for Californians to come to Las Vegas. Now, our median home price is $425,000. That is a staggering increase from the previous year. January of 2020, we were at $305,000. Today, we're at $425,000. So we just saw a $100,000 increase, and this is a favorite thing of Nevadans to complain about Californians moving in here and running up the price of homes, even though they were a California refugee just 5 years ago. We do have affordable housing compared to California for sure. It is increasing. I don't see that stopping with California just bleeding residents as they are and coming here. And you know what? I don't blame them. It's a great place to live here. I was a former Californian, and you're going to enjoy living here. There's just a limited supply and more people moving here than homes we could build. Why home prices are going to continue to rise. Even as I record this video, it will be outdated by tomorrow what the median home price is. If you do want to know what the prices of homes are, especially for areas, because that's the median home price for the entire valley, Sumerlin, which is one of the most premier communities in Las Vegas, is a much higher price point, closer to $520, $550. So there are other areas that do have a higher median home price. So reach out to me, text. If you have any questions about that, post that below. I'll be happy to answer that. I absolutely love helping people find that perfect home. So if I seem like the right fit, please reach out to me. Let's go have some fun. Let's go look at some homes. Okay, so let's talk about something that is maybe a little less than great, and that's our schools. In fact, it gets a overall grade of a D, which isn't great. If you have young kids or older kids and you are worried about schools, well, there's some reason to be concerned. Clark County School District is the 5th largest in the United States, and they have struggled to maintain the level of schools that we would like. I think there are some great teachers out here, and there's actually some great schools. There's some fantastic private schools. There's some really good and even great charter schools, and there actually are some very good public schools as well. I do have some videos that touch on that. I'll post those, and I am going to create a video just on schools so you can get a better idea of what schools there are. So be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I drop that video, which will be soon. Okay, so I'm going to touch on one last thing, and that is Las Vegas has no natural disasters. You don't have to worry about that big one that they keep talking about for the last 25 years or longer. We have very little. We have some minor earthquake activity, and sometimes we feel some of your guys' earthquakes, but overall we really just don't have earthquake issues that you will in California. We also don't have tornadoes, we don't have hurricanes, so a lot of different places you can move to have those kind of problems. We don't have that here. We don't even have real problems with wildfires, at least not in Las Vegas area. Overall, Las Vegas is just a fantastic place to live. I've really enjoyed it. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, because that tells YouTube that this is a video worth watching and they'll promote this video more, and that way I can help more and more people here who are making that plunge from California to Las Vegas and to Nevada, and be able to make that transition a little easier for them. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, because we'd love to have you as a part of our community, and we would also invite you to join our Facebook group. We have a very large Facebook group called The Vegas Report, so be sure to check that out. I'll put a link down there as well, so you can join the conversation. You can ask what moving companies, what are the best restaurants, like everything is just very interactive there, so you can find what you need and what you're looking for when you're moving here. I'm Adam Hopkins. Be sure to check out some of our other videos, and thank you so much for watching.